Good morning. Good morning, friends. How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. Let me know how my audio is. Give me some ones in chat. Good morning, Meg. I know you haven't been to sleep yet. Hope you get some sleep, honey. I did pin my comment in the other chat from my phone. I really do hope that today I can explain clear and concisely what I'm thinking. New Orleans lady, good morning. I hope you're still here. Kane B, love you. Thanks for being here. Meg, love you. Yeah. Yeah, no love, right? She doesn't agree with me, but that's okay. I still love her more than anything. She's my muse. Bree Sully, good morning, honey. How are you? Yeah, let me know if my audio is good. Okay, audio is good. Andrea, thank you so much. Good morning, Anna D. How you doing? Gordon, good morning. Thanks for being here. Kelly R. Meanie, hello. All right. So, first off, I just want to say, Stacy, ready to go? Good. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Beachy D, how you doing? Good morning. Mocha, hello. Welcome in. Let me grab my coffee. Hope everybody's having a good Monday morning. Jilly Bean, hello. JB, hello. Claire Bear, hello. I even slowed my chat too to 30 seconds. Sorry, y'all gotta wait 30 seconds today. So, what I hope to do today, Teresa, good morning. Mommy Ball, good morning. Ree, hello. All right, so what I want to do today, now, this is purely before anybody goes running around saying Miss Potts says they have D knife. Nope, that's not what I'm saying. And I hope to clearly and concisely explain what I mean. And I'm going to show you with some of these documents why I think what I think. So this is purely just my opinion. This is just my speculation, but it's grounded in, I think, a little bit of logic, some common sense, and the docs. So hopefully you guys will see where I'm coming from when we get to this. Kizan, hello. Audrey, darling, good morning. Thank you for being here. Love you. Kizan, hello. Sakura, hello. Paco, good morning. Try the tea. Yeah, try the tea. SRB, what up? Welcome on in. Thanks for being here. Yes, Audrey, I think you'll see where I'm going. So, first things first. Let me get over here real quick. I'm going to put this question here, and I want to see what you guys have to say. So there's a question for chat on the screen, and I'm just going to check comments, and I want to get a little gauge here on what people in the chat think. So question for the chat is, did the state recover bladed weapons from this home? Based on what we know about their social medias and their friends, do you think the state didn't recover a single bladed weapon from this home? I guess 1, if you think they did, 2, if you think they didn't. Do you think bladed weapons were recovered from the home? 1's for yes, 2's for no. That's kind of going to be the first question. As much as I want to highlight your comments, I'm going to leave this comment on the question for chat on the screen for a little bit while I read some comments here. So, just want to get a gauge here as to what people think. Do you think that 0 weapons were recovered from the home? Even after seeing the social media of some of the kids and their friends, you think that, oh, sorry, Sarah, honey, you missed the question? It is. The question for the chat is, do you think that the state recovered any bladed weapons from the home after seeing, social media, stuff like that. Twos. There's quite a few twos. So you guys, there's quite a few of you. You think 0 bladed weapons were recovered from the home. So you guys think only a sheath. All right. Well, that's cool. So we have some ones, we have some twos. All right. Looking like mostly ones, but quite a few twos. All right, cool. So let's get to this. Yeah, Meg P, I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Well, it doesn't have to be weapons used in the crime, meaning. That's not what I'm getting at. I guess what I'm getting at is knowing now that we know the social media of some of the kids and their friends, right? We learned it pretty quickly. I would imagine so did the defense. After seeing their social media of them and their friends, wouldn't wouldn't maybe the defense have some questions about where are all the knives they owned, right? Don't you think if you're the defense, you're going to want to know, well, where are all the knives that they owned, right? It's just me throwing out questions here. If I'm the defense, I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, so you're saying you only found a sheath in this house when we know based on their social medias and their friends' social medias, many of them and their friends had knives, right? So that's the reason that I bring this question up. Number one, I am of the opinion that there's no way they didn't recover a knife from this house, whether it's related to the crime scene or not, right? Whether it's related to the crime or not. I'm of the opinion that they likely did recover bladed weapons from this home, right? That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Um, and I think that there is quite a few reasons why, if I'm the defense, I'm going to have a lot of questions as to, well, I've seen the social media. I've now seen the bank records, right? We've seen it. Now the defense has seen it all. They're keenly aware that many of these people and their friends own knives. Specifically, one of the victim's grandfather literally used to make knives out of deer antlers, right? So, and I'm not saying this to implicate victims or anything like that. That's not even where I'm going with this. What I'm talking about is that logically looking at it, when you look at the social media and stuff of the kids very early on, it's clear to see them and their friends had very large knives, very large bladed weapons, right? It's all over their social medias. So I'm of the opinion that there's no way law enforcement did not recover at minimum 1 to 2 to maybe even 3 knives out of this house. Whether or not they had anything to do with the crime, who knows? It doesn't matter. Where I'm going with this is if you are the state and you're aware 1 or 2 or maybe more knives were recovered, why would you want to hide that? Right? Why would you only want to go with a sheath? Know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm going with this. Based on the social media, I don't believe that no weapons, no bladed weapons were found in the home. I am under the impression that if bladed weapons were recovered, obviously, depending where they were found, how they were found, etc., maybe the state would think they're irrelevant because they're not relevant to the crime, right? If they were, found in a closet, like wrapped in a sweater or something like that, you would think it's not relevant, but you wouldn't know it's not relevant to the crime unless you test it. You wouldn't know whether or not the weapon is relevant to the crime if you found one unless you test it, right? So, if you did recover a couple of bladed weapons, but you did no testing, you would have no way. The only way you could deem them irrelevant is by testing them. And where we have an 8-hour delay between allegedly crime and 911 call, if I'm the defense, it makes sense to me that, okay, wait, so you're saying you found no bladed weapons, you only found this sheath? That's interesting. If I'm the defense, I'm going to hammer it home from jump. Where are the weapons? Where are the knives? Right. Especially after seeing the social media of some of the kids. If I'm the defense, I'm coming back and I'm asking, where are the knives? I'm of the opinion it's bullshit. Only a sheath was recovered, and that's just my opinion. If they did recover weapons and deemed them to be irrelevant to the crime, that it's likely because they weren't even tested, right? Maybe because your weapons don't match your sheath. Maybe because the weapon doesn't match the sheath, right? Or could be something completely different. Now, what I want to show you guys to hopefully kind of explain my thoughts here, and these are just my thoughts, my opinions. Today is not a, you know, oh my God, Annie Potts, fucking Miss Potts, she's so stupid. She thinks they found a knife. No, it's, I think that I'm of the opinion that it's a very high probability more than one bladed weapon was recovered from the home because many of them owned them. Right. So to me, logically, it just seems logical that they probably did recover a couple of bladed weapons from the home. And then my next question is, well, if you did, why are you hiding that? Why would you not want anyone to know that? Right? So, first things first, let's go here. It's going to be, I think, is it this one? Yeah. So let's go look here first. So this here, by the way, thank you everybody for being here. I'm going to be in another window reading. So Maude, you'll have to handle chat. I slowed it down to 30 seconds for you. So hopefully that helps. Appreciate every single one of you and happy Monday. So what this is here is this is the motion in limine number 11 to exclude the IGG evidence. And I just want to read here for you page 9. So this is from Bicca Barlow. Page 9 here. Bicca Barlow is talking about here, Mr. Koberger repeatedly requested materials related to IGG, and the court found that he had made a showing of materiality as to the records sought through discovery requests and motions to compel. The court held 2 hearings on Mr. Koberger's motion to compel. In its first order dated November 13th, 2022, I think she meant to put 2023, Judge of the Latah County District Court, after hearing evidence, issued an order explaining that Mr. Koberger had established sufficient evidence at the hearing to meet the, quote, low threshold, end quote, of materiality for, quote, at least some of the IGG information sought. IGG DNA in order for in-camera review. This is the order. The focus of the order was on the second bucket of material identified by both Mr. Koberger and the state, noting that, quote, according to the state, the rule only requires the disclosure of the results or reports themselves. In this case, the STR DNA profile and the SMP DNA profile created from the K-bar knife. It is undisputed that the SMP profile itself is the result of a scientific test done on evidence in this case. So that's Bicca Barlow quoting Judge from his IGG order in camera review. The focus of the order was on the second bucket of material. And according to Judge, the state conceded. According to the state, the rule only requires the disclosure of the results or reports themselves. In this case, the STR DNA profile and the SMP DNA profile created from the K-bar knife. And it is undisputed that the SMP profile itself is the result of a scientific test done on evidence in this case. My little notes here are JJJ is quoting the DNA profile created from the K-bar knife. Nowlin also reads an email out loud in the, now here's another coinkydink. Both of these where both instances where a knife is mentioned, they're both in sealed IGG hearings. It's another little coincidence, right? So Judge here is being quoted from this in-camera review on his order addressing IGG DNA. And Judge is being quoted as saying, in this case, the STR DNA profile and the SMP DNA profile created from the K-bar knife. Everybody tracking? So we have Judge way back when, and now Bicca Barlow is quoting him from this in-camera review. This is an in-camera review none of us got to see. This was all sealed because it was related to the IGG. So now Bicca Barlow is quoting Judge here, referencing his order being on the second bucket of material identified per IGG. Right? I'm of the opinion first and second bucket. First bucket, sheath. Second bucket, knife. Just my opinion, which is why I wrote it down here, because next paragraph it says, the court then conducted an in-camera review of the totality of the IGG material, meaning the first and the second bucket of data. Right? Right, this is all sealed with Judge John Judge, by the way. So this is why we never got to hear any of this or see any of this, because this was all done in camera, under seal, for the IGG stuff. And now here we have this document from Bicca Barlow here for the motion in limine for IGG, where she's quoting Judge. Judge even says that the defense is entitled, in this case, to the STR DNA profile and the SMP DNA profile created from the K-bar knife. That's what it says. These are not my words. That's why I said I plan to show you guys with the documents why I think there's a very high probability a knife or more than one was definitely collected from the scene. And it would appear that for a very long time, the defense is aware of a knife. Maybe the state is also aware of a knife. Maybe some testing was done. And the defense has been trying to get that. And even back under Judge, after seeing the totality of the IGG material, first and second bucket of data, he agreed that the state conceded and he agreed that the order was the defense is entitled to not only the STR DNA profile, but the SMP DNA profile created from the K-bar knife. And she's quoting his order. So these are not my words. Just wanted to clarify that. So it goes on. Court then conducted an in-camera review of the totality of the material provided by the state concerning the construction of the by Othram and then the FBI. 2 buckets, right? The court ordered the production of essentially all of the reviewed material, with the exception of certain documents pertaining to the contract between Othram and the state. The state provided test results in the form of 2 large text files. One identified as being the data produced by Othram, in my opinion, the sheath profile, and the second as the data produced by the FBI, in my opinion, the knife profile. Still not having received the promised material regarding the SMP testing conducted by Othram, Mr. Kohberger renewed his request for the material. 15th, supplemental request for discovery. State reiterated Mr. Kohberger was entitled to the requested material, but that the requested material did not exist. The requested material was laid out in Exhibit N, and it included all bench notes, electronic data, protocols, and standard operating procedures, all contamination logs, and validation summaries. Now, let me stop sharing this with you for 1 second. So I just basically really wanted to show you guys that, because she quotes Judge Judge, and Judge Judge claims that the state had to turn over not only the STR, but the SMP profiles created off the K-bar knife. That's the quote she uses, knife. Next. And I know when we first all saw this, we thought, well, it must be a mistake. That's why she corrected herself, blah, blah, blah. You know, part of me, I'm not sure that it was a mistake. I think that when someone puts an email in front of you and asks you to read it, you're going to read what's placed in front of you. The brain doesn't know to input a word that's not there yet, right? Just my opinion. Let's see. Let's get to this. Okay. Next, this is the transcript from the sealed IGG hearing, right? On redirect of Riley Nolan. I believe this is Riley Nolan. Yes. So this is on the redirect examination of Riley Nolan. Okay. Miss Taylor says, we were talking at the end of my questions and where Mr. Nye just left off with you about where the sheath would have been swabbed. Reading the email that's been placed in front of you, does that refresh your recollection about what you believe to be the place the sheath was swabbed? Very much so, Rylene says. Anne says, where was it swabbed? Rylene says she reads it out loud. She's reading the email out loud. The knife was swabbed the entire, the court. Did you say the knife was swabbed? The witness, sorry, the knife sheath. Am I allowed to read it? Right? So she's under the impression she has to read it out loud when Anne puts it in front of her, which is why as she reads it out loud, she is reading it as it's written, which is the knife was swabbed the entire, and then she catches herself. The judge caught it too. Did you say the knife was swabbed? Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm fine with being wrong. I don't care about being wrong, right? It's okay to be wrong. I don't need to be perfect. But I do find it very interesting that in both instances where it appears not only the judge, but this person from ISP handling the evidence. So you have Judge calling it the K-bar knife. You have Riley Nolan here having an email placed directly in front of her that she's reading out loud, and she says the knife was swabbed. and the court has to correct her, right? So my little note here is she is reading out loud what is in front of her, and she says the knife was swabbed because that is what is in the email. In my opinion, the defense knows there was a knife recovered and it doesn't match the sheath. It's just my opinion. But we have two instances now, in both of these instances where a knife is being mentioned, not a sheath, a knife is being mentioned, just happens to be sealed IGG hearings. One with Judge, and now one with Judge Hippler, right? So in two instances where a knife is being mentioned, one is with Judge and his little sealed in-camera review, and then here with Riley Nolan for this, sealed IGG, Frank's, whatever it was, right? Right, Kate, yes. Agreed. Anne has said that there is no weapon. Right, agreed. Well, right, because if they won't turn over any of the weapons or any of the data referring to the weapons, or right, it makes sense. The defense is going to say there's no weapon. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at. I don't believe for a single second that there was not a knife recovered from this house. Whether it's a knife that relates to the crime or not, I have no idea. But all of these kids had knives. So did their friends. So, to me, the logical conclusion is likely a knife was recovered from this home. Whether it has to do with the crime or not, I have no idea. But my question is if there were a knife or knives recovered from the home, why would the state want to hide that? Right? Why would they ever want to hide that? It's just questions. It's just my thoughts, just my opinions based on what I'm reading. So now we have Judge being quoted by Bicca Barlow, referencing DNA recovered from the K-bar knife that was tested. Judge Judge agreed that the defense was entitled to all of the testing done on the K-bar knife and the results from whatever testing was done on the K-bar knife. So Judge ordered, way back when, that material be produced to the defense. And the state came back and said, we don't have it. Right? So then we have much later now, Riley Nolan reading an email out loud. The knife was swabbed. The knife was swabbed, the entire, not the knife sheath. And yes, I understand she gets corrected. Okay. I understand she gets corrected. The point that I'm getting here is that even when we first read this, I'm under the impression when you're reading something that's been put right in front of you, the brain doesn't have time to implant a word in a sentence that you're about to read out loud that your brain doesn't know isn't there, right? You're just reading out loud what was put in front of you. And what was put in front of her is an email. And she reads that email out loud and she says the knife was swabbed the entire, and catches herself. Judge, way back when, tells the defense they are entitled to all of the STR SMP DNA analysis that was done on the K-bar knife. And that's Judge's words, right? So hopefully you guys can understand what I'm getting at here, with why I think that it's a high probability that more than likely some weapons were recovered from the home. Whether or not they have anything to do with the crime, I have no idea. But it's well known with their social media. They all had knives. They played with knives. Their friends all had knives, played with knives. I find it very highly unlikely there were no knives recovered, no bladed weapons. And if I'm the defense, after seeing their social media and stuff, I'm going to say, where are all the knives? Because we know they had them, right? We all know they had the knives. You think the defense doesn't know they had the knives? Know what I mean? Of course the defense would know they have the knives. Of course the defense would know that they all and their friends had knives. I'm of the opinion that the defense has been aware for a little while now that there's likely a weapon or two that's been recovered and they're hiding it. They don't want to turn over the testing. Whatever DNA analysis came back. And I think the defense knows it. That's just my opinion. And we'll look at something else. So I'm going to stop sharing that. So far, we got to see, I showed you how Bicca Barlow is quoting Judge Judge. This is not my words. She's quoting Judge Judge in her own filing. I showed you here, Riley Nolan reads an email out loud. She says the knife was swabbed. Judge Judge said the defense is entitled to all of the DNA testing results that was done on the K-bar knife. Stop sharing that. And then we'll go to this one. Fix this. All right, what's happening? Give me back my screen here. Restream. Sorry, friends, hang on. Trying to get back to my chat. Sorry, guys. Something happening here. All right, let's go to this one next. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Get into the declaration of Bicca Barlow here. All right, welcome on in, everybody. Sorry. If you're joining chat and I didn't see you, I'm so very, very sorry. I was in another window reading. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you. Kate, Tarok, Ro, Paco, Chickbait. How you doing, honey? Brian. Does that say Brian? Yeah, Brian McNeil. Hello. Janet, UK. Hello. All right, Victorine. Sorry, guys, if I missed you. End of the line. Swampside Chick. Hello. Tom Campbell. Mommy Ball. Hope you guys are having an awesome Monday. Clifton Mayo. Hello. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying here, right? I think it's a high probability more than one weapon was recovered from the home. I think it's a high probability the defense knows there's a weapon or two. I think it's a high probability that the state is hiding it. I think it's a high probability some kind of testing was done. The defense is aware of it. They've been asking for it. Judge said a long time ago they were entitled to whatever DNA testing came from that K-bar knife. He says K-bar knife. Bicca Barlow takes his quote out of the transcript from the sealed IGG little fucking in-camera hearing that they had. She puts his quote in her filing. So, these are not my words. These are theirs. These are the words of Judge. These are the words of Riley Nolan. These are not my words. Just wanted to make that clear. Next. Let's get into Bicca Barlow's declaration. So for anybody who hasn't read this, I've read it a million times, but hey, sometimes you got to go back when new information comes out, right? Bicca Barlow's declaration here. Let's get into item 4.2. So this is going to be page 13. It's a 39-page document. You'll find this on page 13. Bicca Barlow declaration from June 23rd, 2023. Item 4.2. Match detail reports and long-form candidate match reports for the hits, including partial hits and hits that are dispositioned to be non-matching, even if the laboratory dispositioned a profile as a hit. From the discovery in this case, it appears that at least 3 and possibly 4 profiles were uploaded to the CODIS database prior to Mr. Koberger being charged. Mr. Koberger has requested the discovery of these uploads and any resulting hits or candidate matches to these unknown male profiles, even if the lab has dispositioned them as non-candidate matches. So this is way back when, in June 23rd of 2023. Profiles, right? Unknown male profiles, 3 to 4. Unknown male profiles. Even if the lab dispositioned them to be non-candidate matches, we want them. This is what they were asking for way back when, and Judge eventually decided they're entitled to all of this. All of it. Other than some of the contracts between like ISP and Othram, they were entitled to everything, all DNA, all the DNA profiles, all anything, including whatever they did with the K-bar knife, according to Judge. When a profile is uploaded to the CODIS database, it is searched continuously against the database of convicted offenders and arrestees maintained by the state, generally on a weekly basis. This ensures that as new individuals are added to the database, they will hit on evidence sample profiles if they are deemed a match. These candidates are then forwarded directly to the lab that uploaded the evidence profile for further evaluation. The lab will then determine if the individual candidate is a candidate match or a non-match. The lab then dispositions the individual in the database as a candidate match or non-match. All that the lab sees of the candidates is an anonymized DNA profile. Anonymized DNA profile. The disposition of a candidate match triggers the state to the lab for further investigation. So prior to Koberger being arrested, from the discovery in this case, 3 and possibly 4 other profiles were uploaded to the database before Koberger was arrested. Before. So these 3 to 4 profiles that they put in, you understand that the moment that they put Koberger's into CODIS, these 3 to 4 others were already in, and when a profile is uploaded, it's searched continuously against what's already in there. So when they uploaded his and got no hits, that means he didn't match the 3 to 4 others they already uploaded from the crime scene. You guys get that, right? There's 3 to 4 other profiles that were uploaded to CODIS prior to his arrest. Once his profile went into CODIS, he didn't match. He didn't hit. They already said that. So way back when Bicca Barlow was saying, this is Bicca Barlow's declaration, she was saying way back then, we're going to need these 3 and 4 others, right? Yeah, you should listen from the beginning, darling, probably. Yeah, young black economist, probably, honey. Woke up 1984, thanks for being here. Hope you have a great day. So anyways, this isn't going to be a long one. I just kind of wanted to, share with you guys what I think here, why I think it. This is an argument that the defense has been making for a very, 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 very long time. The defense has been very well aware that lots of other DNA was recovered from this crime scene, most of it male. It doesn't match Koberger, doesn't match the sheath. And I'm of the opinion that they've likely known for a while there's no way you didn't recover a singular bladed weapon from this home, whether or not it has anything to do with the crime scene or not. The question is, why are you hiding it? And if you did recover a weapon, a K-bar knife, as Judge is under the impression that there was testing related to a K-bar knife done and that the defense is entitled to it, why would they hide that, right? I think that's kind of the opinion of the defense for a very long time now. Well, so what? Okay, fine. You found this knife or two knives or three knives, and you don't think they have anything to do with the crime. That's great, but why aren't you turning those over? Furthermore, why'd you test them if you think they had nothing to do with the crime? Why is the judge under the impression a K-bar knife was tested? DNA was recovered from it. Why is the judge under that impression? And why would the judge order the state to turn all of that over to the defense, including any testing, STR and SMP, that was done on the K-bar knife? Get what I'm saying? Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm talking about here. You can go look at the documents for yourselves, come to your own conclusions. Do not listen to me. I'm nobody. I don't know shit. Remember that, right? No facts here. I don't know shit. This is just my opinion based on what I'm seeing, you know, after going back through and reading through a couple of things, right? It would appear that maybe they've known for a while. At minimum, one K-bar knife was tested. In this case, Judge seems to be under the impression that the state conducted testing on a K-bar knife and that the state needed to turn that information over to the defense. So, could it just be another one of fucking Idaho's typos? Of course it could be, I guess. Could it be just another one of Idaho's fucking misspeaking? Sure. Guess it could be. We all know all the damn typos and everything in some of these filings. So, I'm just saying, though. She's taking a quote out of a transcript from an in-camera meeting with Judge way back when. And she's placing it into her motion in limine number 11. So, I would say maybe, look at motion in limine number 11. Look at the Bicca Barlow declaration. Go back and look at the transcript with Riley Nolan. And then, come to your own conclusions. I'm of the opinion that it's a very highly, highly, highly unlikely that the only thing recovered at this scene was a sheath. I'm of the opinion it's highly unlikely no bladed weapon was recovered in this home. And that's just my opinion. Yeah, that was the replacement he bought. Yeah. I know, right? So I don't know. You know what I mean? Well, what do you guys think? Right? You have Judge, way, 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 way back when, saying, hey, state, all the DNA testing you did on that K-bar knife, you got to turn it over to them. State saying, what? We don't have it. Way back in June 2023, Bicca Barlow here is talking about these 3 to 4 other profiles uploaded to CODIS prior to Kohberger's arrest. Right? Were any of those profiles recovered from the knife? This K-bar knife that Judge is under the impression the state tested? I mean, could it just be a misspeak? Yes, of course. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, this is why, even when I was talking to Lana about it this morning, I may need to call the clerk and get some clarification and ask specifically, why does, I'm confused as to why Judge would have been under the impression way back when a K-bar knife had DNA testing done on it. Yeah. And this was all for the sealed stuff that they did with Judge for IGG. Remember, it was all under seal. They had to do everything in camera review. The state gave everything to the judge first for him to look at. And then the judge decided that, yeah, the defense is entitled to it. And the state conceded that they're entitled to it under whatever Idaho rule it was that the judge cited. So Bicca Barlow quotes the judge from that in-camera review. And the judge is quoted as saying that the STR DNA profile and the SMP DNA profile from the K-bar knife, that data needs to be turned over to the defense. And that was way, way, way back when. Hey, Swamp Rose, honey, how are you? Welcome on in. So, it's just, to me, it just is illogical to think that no bladed weapon was recovered from the home when we all know that they all had weapons and so did their friends. They all had knives, so did their friends. It's fine. Nobody's knocking them for it. It's not a slight against the victims. To me, what I'm saying is that the probability that no knife was recovered in this house is highly unlikely. And the only thing you have is a sheath. I think even the defense is saying, what the fuck you mean all you have is a sheath? What? You're telling me 4 people were stabbed to death and all you have here is a sheath? And we can see from their social medias now, you think the defense wasn't digging through all their social medias, can't see that they all were playing with knives, owned knives, had knives, friends had knives. I'm guessing the first thing the defense came back with was, where are all the knives? Because we know they had them. Know what I mean? That's just my opinion. It's purely my opinion, purely my speculation. I just feel like it's logical. There's likely more than one weapon. Whether it had anything to do with the crime or not, irrelevant. For the state to say no bladed weapons were found in the home, I think is bullshit. That's just my opinion. So, anyways, it is kind of laughable when I put it like that, huh, Lady Speedwell, right? After we've seen the social media and stuff. Like, if we all saw it, what do you think the defense is thinking when they saw it? The defense is probably thinking, wait a minute, so all of these kids and their friends have these big, huge fucking knives, and the state's saying all they found was a sheath? Know what I mean? Yeah, their knives had knives. Clifton Mayo. Ow, that one hurt. Their knives had knives. That's a good one, actually. Yeah, same, Swamp. Well, that's what I mean. And I'm not knocking them. This is not a slight at them. I wish they had more than knives. I wish someone in that home had a gun that morning, right? Maybe things would have been a little different if someone had a gun and knew how to use it. Maybe things would have been a little different. But what I do know is, based on their own social medias, their friends' social medias, they all had knives. It is what it is, and it's not a knock on them, right? It's a knock on the state. What I'm doing here is I'm knocking the state. Happy birthday, Joey. Your birthday Saturday? Oh, happy early birthday. I don't know. I'm probably crazy and I'm probably wrong, and that's totally fine. I have absolutely no problem whatsoever being wrong. But I'm of the opinion that more than likely one or more bladed weapons were recovered from the scene. And maybe, just maybe, one was tested. And the defense knows it, and Judge knew it. And Judge told the state, you need to turn over whatever it is you got off that K-bar knife. And I don't think the state did. And I think that's also why they want to drop IGG, why they agreed to concede that they won't use IGG. Because I think IGG also has to do with the knife. It's not just the sheath profile. I think it also has to do with whatever the knife stuff JJJ was talking about. Just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Maybe Othram was working on the sheath profile. FBI's working on the knife profile. And the two aren't a match. Maybe. Just maybe. It's interesting, though, if you are the state and you do recover multiple bladed weapons from the scene, that you wouldn't want anyone to know that, and you'd want to hide that and only stick with your sheath. Kind of weird, right? But I don't know. Just my opinion. What else did I want to share with you before I skedaddle? Let's stop sharing that for a second. And then I'm going to go here. I'm just going to show one thing. And then I'm going to get out of here. And this is just to kind of give a brief glimpse into the kind of knives they and their friends had and played with often. Hang on. Oh my God. It's going to make me do this stupid thing. All right. Ready? I have the volume down so I don't get copyright. So that is just an example of, and I know we've all seen this, but for anybody who hasn't, just in case, for anybody who's not picking up what I'm putting down, okay, this is an example of the knives. Now, this is the 1112 King Road home. This is the light bulb camera home. This is where they played live action Fruit Ninja with these huge ass watermelons and these big ass knives. Okay. So, this is why I'm under the impression that it's highly, highly unlikely no bladed weapons were recovered from the home. Unless, I mean, we do have an 8-hour delay. Maybe that 8-hour delay was, cleaning up the damn knives, getting the knives out of the house. I have no fucking idea. It's just, my opinion. But I just find it very unlikely. No bladed weapon was recovered from the home and only a sheath. That's it. This is just an example of the knives that they played with and were in possession of all the time. That's a big ass knife. And when you hear the coroner talking about it was a large knife in the very beginning, it was a large knife, a large weapon. A 7-inch K-bar is not a large weapon. This is a fucking large weapon. That is a large knife. That little rinky-dink K-bar ain't shit compared to that right there. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. I have no idea, Sarge. That's the question, right? Does the state have any of the knives? I have no idea. We're under the impression now, the defense is under the impression no weapon was ever recovered. I think that's bullshit. Personally, I think it's a very low probability that no bladed weapons were recovered from the home when these are the kinds of things these fucking kids were using, running around with, and playing with all the damn time. So, it's just my opinion, though, right? This is just my opinion. But either way, I showed you guys the documents. Motion in Lemony, number 11 from Bicca Barlow. You can go read that for yourself. Page 9. It's where you'll get the quote from Judge regarding the K-bar knife. Riley Nolan's testimony in the sealed IGG with Hippler for the Franks. Also, you'll get some testimony where Riley Nolan herself reads an email saying the knife was swabbed. Judge is under the impression a K-bar knife was tested and DNA was recovered. And then, this is just an example of some of the knives they like to play with. And then maybe go look at Bicca Barlow's declaration from way back in June. And, you guys come to your own conclusions, right? Yes, I did see that as well, Mikey S. That's right. There was a side note, one of the docs for the expert, right, with a different opinion regarding the wounds and stuff. Yes. The defense's expert has a little bit different, is going to challenge the state's expert regarding wounds. Yes, I did see that as well. So, either way, you guys on a little journey in my brain today. Again, these are just my opinions, just my thoughts, and I'm just showing you what I found in a couple of the documents that I deem interesting, and maybe you will too. And if you disagree, that's okay. And if I'm wrong, totally okay. I'm fine with it. I have no problem being wrong. These are just my thoughts and my opinions here, and taking you on a trip in my brain. That's all. And Mercy Cat, darling, you're probably working all week and you'll catch this on the replay. I love you. You're too kind to me, and stop doing that. Love you, darling. So, what do you guys think? Yes, Mikey, yes, I'm feeling better. Numbing patches on. I've been taking my muscle relaxers at night so that I get a good night's sleep, and I take it easy when I can, and rest when I can. But what do you guys think? I mean, you can tell me in my chat. You can be like, yo, bitch, you're crazy. And that's fine. You could say, Annie, I disagree and I think you're nuts. And that's okay. Totally fine. Yeah, the bushcraft, right. Well, that's what I mean, kid, right? Yeah, Beachy D, right? That's a big-ass knife. Now that's a knife, you know? Especially when we have parents talking about the wounds don't match, points of damage don't match. You have the defense getting an expert to come in and disagree with the state's expert about wound patterns and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. That's okay if I am. And I'm of the opinion that it's very, very low likelihood. No bladed weapons were recovered. And Judge John Judge seems to think there was a K-bar knife, not only recovered, but tested. And DNA results were produced off it. So it's going to be real interesting going forward, yes? Yes, Deborah, exactly. Rest and deep breathing, exactly. Yeah, I've been taking it easy. I promise I have been. You're pretty late, Sally. I'm about to dip out of here. Um, but I hope you guys have an Halloween, and I can only do a little bit at a time. So, um, you guys go have a great day. Be safe. Take care of each other. I'm sure I'll see you around the YouTube streets. Hopefully, this helped to clarify a little bit of my community post this morning. No, I haven't lost my mind. No, I'm not going crazy. I showed you in the documents where you can find what I'm looking at. You hear that? That's my cat up there in her cat box. She is a goddamn wild animal. She is literally upstairs. She's on another floor of the house. You hear how loud that is? Her in there in her cat box? It's like a damn tiger is up there taking a shit, is what you would think. That I have a tiger in my house taking a shit in a box somewhere. It's how loud she is up there. Holy shit. Sorry about that, guys. I don't even know what I was saying. She distracted me so much. My God, Nellie. So anyways, yeah, sounds like jackhammer. I know, right? No, that's my cat, Kane. Upstairs. She's way upstairs in her cat box, bro. And it literally sounds like a damn panther is up there. But anyways, I love you guys. I will see you around. Hopefully, I haven't gone off the full deep end yet, okay? Stick with me. I haven't gone too far off the deep end yet, okay? Don't worry. Just a couple thoughts that I had for you. And I showed you some docs, and it is what it is. I hope you guys have a great day. Leave me some comments, okay? Let me know what you think, and go have a great day. Enjoy your day. Mods, love you. Thank you so much for being here. All of you, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate every single one of you. Have a great week. Talk to you later. Oh, don't forget the 9th. It's coming up soon, friends. 8 days, right? 9 days, 8 days. We're almost there. Catch you soon. Bye.